We're talking about parental supervision, how far I should go. What do you think about this? They now want to rate rock concerts. Now, of course, there are ratings on albums now. There weren't when we were kids, but you're in Spinal Tap. You had a...
kind of a crack his hat.
Huge group. Now, because Marilyn Manson and so forth, people who... he does tear up Bibles. He wipes his ass with the American flag. He tells kids Dr. Seuss is not an MD. I don't know what he does.
Nothing Noel Coward didn't do years ago.
Noel Coward. But they want to actually rate a concert. Do you think that's cricket?
Yes, I think they should rate them, because I think not only just concerts, rap shows, a variety of other shows, because of the fact that there are shows where people have actually performed sex on stage. In one particular performance of a rap artist, a girl went on and perform oral sex on the artist. And I think that parents should have an idea of what kind of event their child is going to, so that they can say, hey, I want you to go, or I need to go with you, or I don't want you to go to that event. I
was going to disagree with you. The oral sex put me over the top. Not for the first time, I might add. No, I'm old enough to remember when Phil Oakes played Carnegie Hall and said the bull word. And there was like an editorial in Variety the following week. This has gone too far. These kids today.
Yeah.
And this was 1963.
But Jim Morrison in the 60s did sexual acts on stage.
Yeah, but you can't, you really can't. First of all, it's live. It's not like, I mean, the spontaneity of it all, I mean, how can you really rate that? You don't know. You could go to a New Kids on the Block concert. I mean, I was in supposedly the most wholesome group in the world, and I mean, you would expect us to have a G rating at the time, but I mean, it got R from time to time.
Really?
Oh, yeah, sure.
What did you do that would
well,
get an R?
Just, you know.
But really, I mean, I can't imagine what the New Kids on the Block would do that would be...
Oh, just the new kids, not the nude kids. That would be...
Well, there was different things, but I mean, you know...
Different things is vague. What would they do?
Well, we're drifting away from the subject.
No, we're not. We're getting right through the subject. I'm serious. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but what did they do? What did you do that would be an R rating that you did?
Well, you had, you know, basically teenage guys on stage, 19, 20-year-old guys, and you had, you know, a lot of our fans were really young, you know, 11, 10, 9. So stuff that's appropriate for 21, 19, 20, 21-year-olds is not necessarily...
Language, you're talking.
Language, you know, different little gestures, body movements, pelvic thrust, pelvic...
All right, now I understand.
You know, but think about it. I mean, who are these people that are coming up with these regulations? I mean, these are the same parents that were doing acid and running around naked when they were listening to their favorite bands, and now they want to spoil all of our fun.
I think it's a kind of a long goodbye. It's kind of a long goodbye to fun.
Like you're going to a Marilyn Manson concert.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing also. I mean, if you know what Marilyn Manson's doing on a record, and they're rating the record, you think he or she is going to do something different in concert?
Yeah.
You know, you think he's praising the devil on record? You think he's going to, you know, do something different? I mean, you should know. It's going to be generally consistent with what's on the record.
But then, when you consider the fact that parents are not listening to the music, that if they know what kind of concert...
problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
the parents should do a better job.
But we're not talking about screening. We're not talking about preventing. All we're talking about doing is letting parents have some idea of what kind of concert that their child is going to, what they might possibly be exposed to.
Well, if the child is that young, right, I understand.
Priorities. Here, you know, we're sending our kids to schools where they're getting shot at, where they're getting beaten up, shaken down for drug money, and then you say, well, you can't go to the LA Forum where you've got 500 security guards and a metal detector at every door.
Well, maybe we should rate the schools, too.
Yeah, well, I'd be in favor of that.
I just think it's a way of kind of, you're growing up, but we want to do a little more parenting before you're all the way out of the way. And if we make it so that there's ratings on concerts, that kind of, we have our fingers in your pie.
I really think if parents are in tune with their children and involved in their lives and involved, you know, being really good parents and are really involved, it's not, they know what's going on. They know what the kids are listening to.
By what you just said, they don't, because parents would probably say, New Kids on the Block, well, sure, go to that one. I mean, we'd rather have you go to that than anything else.
But then,
Michael Jackson started grabbing himself, didn't he? Everyone kind of thinks...
Yeah, and then he started grabbing, you know, other things.
Right.
you know,
it's not himself that he's grabbing, that people are worried
about. That's not what we're worried about.
There were certain lines in his performance that got crossed over and over again so that, you know, people would still...
But Jennifer, would you say that the pendulum has swung a little? I mean, that we're living in a time where anything goes?
Well, to an extent, but, you know, think of some of these bands. I mean, you know, if you're going to have these R ratings, a group like Hanson is going to be banned from playing at its own concert.
No, we're not talking about banning
These are like kids that are 16 years old.
We're just saying let the parents know what kind of concert that they're going to be perhaps exposed to.
Who's on the review board?
That's all.
How do we really
parents
compile
have some indication of what's going on?
But how do we compile this information? I mean, what
Yeah.
What board is
Who's
going to...
the man, man?
That's what I want to say.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to take a commercial. We'll come back.
Okay.